Greetings everyone. Today I'm going to do my first tutorial on what I call the infinite everlasting gobstopper machine, or cobblestone machine, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was kind of creative. Kind of reminds me of Willy Wonka a little bit. I was inspired to do this from two other players. One was Mumbo Jumbo. The other one was Nims Toots. He's the one that came up with this one idea of having an infinite charcoal maker. And then the other one was by Mumbo Jumbo, which was basically a kind of like an infinite cooking machine. And so I always had this issue of where could I put, or how could I continue having charcoal being produced and still cook whatever kind of rock or material I want to cook, either meat or glass or whatever. And so what I did is I came up with this whole infinite system here using a dropper elevator and a couple repeaters and comparator, and was able to get it to work. So I actually made another one here just to double check my work. It works in single player mode and it also works in server world multiplayer. So let's start off with how to make this. What you'll need is let's see here, you'll need a furnace. You'll need a dropper, 4 droppers, a couple junk blocks, a hopper, redstone repeater, a redstone comparator, some redstone, some chests, and a redstone torch. So let's start making this. First off, you want to lay down is a chest, and you want to put a hopper into that chest. You want to next put a furnace on top of the hopper, just like that. You can make this chest too wide if you want. It just gives you some more storage room. Next, you're going to put a hopper into the furnace, and we're going to put a chest on top of this hopper. If I can do that, there. And I'm going to extend that off right there. And then we're going to put a hopper into the top of, oops. Well, if it wants to work, well, let's move back then. On top of the furnace with another chest on top. This one you can also double it out like that, and kind of compacts everything. So basically what you're going to get here is you're going to put in whatever you want to cook. It goes into the chest on the top portion of the furnace, and all the charcoal that we're going to be making from the charcoal maker will go into the bottom of the furnace, and then whatever is left, which is smooth stone or glass or meat, will end up in your storage area down here. Alright, so to make the back section of this device, we're going to take a junk block right here. We're going to put a hopper facing into the junk block and get rid of the junk block. We're going to connect the furnace to the new hopper, so that this chest will either spit out charcoal to that furnace or to this furnace. We're then going to place another junk block here and put a hopper into that junk block. We're going to then, let's get up here on top, and we're going to put a hopper facing into the furnace, and then we're going to put a chest onto that hopper, and we're going to extend that chest out, and they can overlap. Chests can actually overlap on top of themselves. So basically anything I put in that chest will go into this hopper, will get cooked into the top of the furnace, be spit out into this hopper, which is then going to go into a dropper. It's going to be facing up, and I'm going to put 3 hoppers facing up, and then we need to I'm just going to put a couple blocks here like this, and then we're going to have the last dropper facing away from the, I guess, or into the inside of the unit. And then we're going to take 2 hoppers, one here and one here, and what that does is anything that gets spit out of this dropper will get automatically put into the charcoal box. So let's destroy those, and as you can see, that it all kind of fits into itself. I'm going to also put one more junk block right here, so that way when it does spit something out, it doesn't go off the back. It shouldn't, but it could happen. The next part of this is building the clock system, so that anything that goes into the dropper will get fed up into the actual dropper system. So what you want to do there is you want to put a block and a block here, a block there. You're going to put in a redstone torch, and you're going to put a redstone torch here, and so that gives it power to transfer up into the system. But in order for it to transfer up and not leave any items inside this tower or this elevator, dropper elevator, we need to use a comparator here, which will check for any items coming into the bottom of the dropper. We're going to put down a rock or block. We're going to put down a repeater and one more torch, which will power that repeater and then send the power up going all the way to the top. The other thing you want to do is sometimes items get stuck in here, so to force this hopper to only allow one item at a time to go into the bottom of this dropper, otherwise if more than one item gets stuck in the dropper, items will get stuck in there. You want to put a repeater and some redstone here, and that will only allow one item to go up into the system at a time. So in order to get the system started, you can throw in all your well, hold on, let's go back one more thing. Okay, so we're back, and what we want to do is we want to start putting one piece of wood in here. Oops, dropped the wood. Yeah, getting wood, and we're gonna, that wood is actually going to filter into this hopper, and it's going to fill into the top and actually start making charcoal. And let's actually go get some wood here. 2, 3. That's good. Because basically what we're doing is we're having to prime. Doesn't matter what kind of wood you put in here. I can put any kind of wood I want. You want to prime the system. Give me 64. Why not I get 64? There. 64. 64. Say 64 of that. 64 of that. Okay. So basically we're priming the system so that we actually get a piece of charcoal. And what we want to do is this has to be 64 blocks of charcoal, and then we need 64 blocks of charcoal here, and in order to stop this whole thing from filling with charcoal, we're going to fill this with dirt, and then here's our piece of charcoal. So as this thing continues to cook, so I'm going to put a piece of charcoal here. You could actually start it off like this to originally start generating all of your charcoal. So I could do this, and so this is going to filter down, and it's going to go in here and it's going to start burning, and then all of a sudden get me charcoal. I'm going to do the same thing over here. The same idea, same premise, is I can put wood in here and wood in here, and it'll start generating charcoal, and it'll fill up this chest with charcoal. And you'll watch it as the charcoal gets cooked. This should click off, and it did, and I should get a piece of charcoal in here unless it passed through, and it did. So this is going to fill up with 64 charcoal. This hopper here is going to fill up with 64 pieces of charcoal, and then each of these bottom chambers here will fill up with 64 pieces of charcoal. And then once that is set, this unit will continue to run by itself. And you can put, if you want, you can put item frames on here, so you just get an idea of what goes in what. I don't want that there, I want it there. So like the top one, you will have, say, a piece of cobblestone like that, and I should have some charcoal here being cooked right now. So these will be charcoal. These bottom ones down here will be your smooth stone or glass or meat. You know, basically that's what's going to go in there. I don't want that there. And then this up here will be your wood chest. So you can fill up that wood chest with all your wood, and pretty much once it gets set and goes, it will pretty much run by itself. You won't have to do anything except keep adding wood up here, and then adding whatever you want to cook up here, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I call it the infinite everlasting gobstopper machine, but you could call it a cobblestone machine or whatever. But if anything, I hope it helps you while you're playing. If you like this video, please subscribe, and I'm hoping to do some more tutorials like this later on some other ideas that I've got, and keep playing Minecraft. Thanks.